Today on the spot, it's all the UFC you can handle. The folks from THQ, Bruce Buffer, and Frank Mir drop in with a demo, roster reveal, and trivia giveaway for UFC 2010 Undisputed. We also got new releases this week on WeShop channel and an interview for Halo Reach. Today on the spot.
Hello everybody and welcome to the latest episode of Today on the Spot. I'm your host Sean McInnes. Joining me today is my co-host Kevin Van Ord, and we have got a mixed martial arts episode for you guys. We have a whole lot of UFC Undisputed 2010, a whole lot of UFC giveaways, DVDs, magazines, t-shirts, basically anything related to punching a man in the face. We have got video content directly related to that.
Yeah, but Sean, that magazine there, I see like there's video game stuff. What's going on?
They have
with
a big write-up on Splinter Cell Conviction in here. They actually cover a lot of video games in this magazine here, which is only fair because I do take part in a lot of fighting matches myself, so I mean, it helps to have that balance there. Kevin, I don't know if you knew this about me. I grew up on the mean streets of Seattle. I had to fight to survive. I didn't know when my next meal was coming, and sometimes I had to savagely beat up a man to get it.
Is this a thing?
This is a thing that we can get into later. I could go on and on about my rough and tumble youth, but I'm not going to because it's just going to bore you guys and frighten you a little bit. So, as always, we're going to kick it off with the latest headlines.
Hey everybody, it's your GameSpot news update for Tuesday, April 27th. I'm Tor Thorson. It looks like soon the question of whether or not states can restrict sales of violent games will be settled once and for all. On Monday, the U.S. Supreme Court agreed to hear the state of California's appeal to the ruling, which declared a 2005 state law unconstitutional. The appeal was to a decision from last February in which a court of appeals upheld a lower court's decision that struck down California's law preventing the sale of M-rated games to minors. According to the appeals court ruling, the law violated the First Amendment's guarantee of freedom of speech. Parties on both sides of the debate issued statements saying they are glad the issue will finally be resolved. However, both pointed to a recent decision by the Supreme Court, which ruled that videos depicting cruelty to animals are protected by the First Amendment, indicating the 9-judge body will also likely declare the law unconstitutional. Now, for those of you keeping a score at home, the total number of Infinity Ward employees who have quit stands at 26. On Friday and Monday, some 13 more members of the studio quit, according to gaming blog Kotaku. These included none other than the head of HR, along with a designer who had been there for 8 years. GameSpot's own checks find that 4 of those 13 now work at Respawn Entertainment, the studio founded by fired Infinity Ward heads Vince Zampella and Jason West. The pair were fired in March on grounds of insubordination from the studio they founded in 2002. As of last count, at least 9 members of the Modern Warfare 2 team now work at Respawn, a number that looks set to increase in the coming weeks. Well, that's it, your GameSpot news update for Tuesday, April 27th. For more headlines, head on over to news.gamespot.com.
Well, everybody, that's what's going on in the world of video game news, and now it's time for that moment that you've all been waiting for. It's our demo of UFC 2010 Undisputed. Kevin, did you get to play the last game very much?
I didn't, but I've been itching to get a chance to.
We'll take that little bit of interest that you've got in the game, multiply it by about 1,000, and that's how pumped Ryan McDonald is to check out the game. Fortunately, he's the one who got to host the demo, so let's kick it over to that demo right now. It's UFC 2010 Undisputed.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Ryan McDonald here, and I am joined by a whole bunch of folks from the THQ and UFC looking over. I'll start with you, Colin. How you doing? You're returning to our set again.
Yeah, glad to be back.
Now, for the folks at home that don't know, you were the general manager of fighting games over THQ. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Now, sitting next to you, a man that needs no introduction, obviously, is Frank Mir, obviously former heavyweight champion of the UFC, currently ranked like number 5 in the world. Is that right?
I believe so.
General awesome dude. Thanks for coming by. Bruce Buffer, obviously, folks.
All right.
Super awesome to have you here.
Fist bump.
Excellent. Far away. And of course, we got Wes Bump, who is the designer working on the game, and and we're looking at UFC 2010 today. Is that right, Colin?
Yes, that's right.
So you were here. You were here last time with 2009. Obviously, we were big fans of the game even before it came out, and this one looking pretty sharp too. You want to take us in and show us some of the new stuff?
Yeah. Well, it'll be more like Wes demonstrating the new stuff as he beats the snot out of me, but you know, we can pretend I'm in control. So we're Wes is Machida. I'm Shogun here, and we're gonna. Well, Wes is going to demonstrate some vicious new stuff on me.
Nice.
Ringer.
See, we totally made the game user-friendly. It's a little bit user-friendly this year.
That's well, it's, you know, we got reviews coming up at the office, so Wes is kind of going easy on me, I think. So one of the things, the newest thing, I mean, that stands out the most to everybody, I think, right away is the swaying, which adds a new. Last year the way I would play, I'd do a lot of short steps getting in close to avoid punches, and this year you do the same control, which is a flick of the stick while keeping your hands up, and you get out of the way of the punch. But the big new thing is, you come back in with momentum, so you can really throw hard punches off the sway.
So you get it swaying out of the way, and you throw that counter back, land a big counter.
Oh, or you just get knocked in the jaw like that. But.
So you guys are obviously super into this.
Sorry, I forgot to talk. Okay.
See, some other new stuff you guys got. You guys got some action up against the cage now, is that right?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm most interested in. That's what everybody keeps talking about.
Let me get back up.
What's against the cage? A lot more options here.
Okay, so here we are up against the cage, and so we've got the new. You can see some of the new clinch mechanics here as we kind of pummel.
Oh man.
I got out. I'm unstoppable. And then, okay. So then there's.
Yeah, let's take a look at the cage here. Switch up.
So you can get you up against the cage, and then you've got a couple of takedown options from here. You can switch over to a single leg like you did there. Try to get out of here, but I'm not. And then.
So it kind of takes a little bit of the grappling we saw on the floor of the mat last game and puts it up against the side of the cage.
So essentially, again, without watching our hands at the same time, it's maybe hard to see, but the clinch game now works just like the ground game did last year. So obviously the position changes are not as obvious as they are on the ground, but you got that same thing of using the right stick rotation to improve your position. And you'll see the guy pummeling a lot in the clinch. So you work for better position and then try to do some damage or just get out of there if you're having trouble. And now Wes, he lets me out. That's good because he would totally kill me.
Was it nothing to his madness?
We let him win.
Oh my goodness!
Let him win.
Yeah. So Wes,
he's my boss. I had to let him win.
I know. That's it. Like I said, we got reviews coming up right now.
So Colin, we saw a little bit of the cage action up against there. What else is new for 2010?
Well, we saw some of the swing, saw some of the cage action. Maybe want to do some ground stuff.
Yeah, let's pick some different fighters here.
While they're getting this set up, let me ask you, Frank. I saw you in an interview a couple days ago. Crazy talk. Anderson Silva, 235.
Yeah, I just threw it out there because it seems like, obviously I have a lot of respect for him as a fighter and what he's able to do. I am no different than anybody else. And what he did last fight against Damian Maia, I don't agree with.
Nice.
I still think that if you want to be exciting or if he's putting on a show, knock Damian out.
Right.
Guess what? Knockouts aren't boring yet. I don't know. I mean, someone gets put to sleep, you ain't going to be like, well, he just head kicked him. They're still exciting. So, but then it seems like, he's asked about moving up, and it's been a couple times now where they've talked about him moving up to heavyweight, and he's mentioned that he'd like to make the move, and for whatever reason, I'm the name that he seems to constantly bring up. I don't know if he has an issue with me and how I handled Nogueira, but, and I'm more than happy to oblige it. I mean, I've never been a guy to ever turn down any challenges, and fighting Anderson Silva would be an honor just because, God, I want to go in there with him. I want to fight somebody who can dodge bullets like the Matrix.
Yeah.
Man.
All right, I want to fight him. Just the way it is.
Yeah, I made it.
I don't.
I don't. If Mike Tyson came into the UFC tomorrow, I'd be the first one in line saying, "Please, I want to fight him. I won't take him down. I promise." They'll be like, "That's suicidal." I'm like, "Yeah, but wouldn't it be great to get hit by him?"
Yeah.
I just want to see what it feels like. I don't know. I got issues, but
No. He's telling it like it is. I know him. He's being real here. Definitely, he would.
Where are we at, Colin?
Okay, so we are working on doing some ground stuff. I wanted to show you one of the new things, which is actually my kind of favorite thing, which will try. Oh, geez, I shouldn't have done that. I'll do something. Okay.
We can talk about the changes that we made to the submission system here. If Colin goes for another submission here. Last year, we kind of had our submissions set up in stages, so they felt very. They didn't feel very realistic. Now the camera kind of pushes in as you get closer to finishing the submission. If Colin attempts one here.
So I'll go again, do the sub now. Okay, so I'm going to start moving it in.
Now you can see the arm
camera's
actually
coming in
bending
as I'm
back.
getting closer to getting it.
That's amazing, guys. That is incredible.
So it gives you an idea as we go back and forth, the camera comes in and out. And to kind of, it just gives you a better feel.
Right.
But
what's going on.
That kind of ebb and flow of the battle to gain control and position is still the same as it was in last year's game?
Yeah, the shine is back.
Nice.
So if you've, you might need to get a callus back on your hand this year. Notice a lot of people lost their callus from last year, so they're really getting it back with the shine. Another new thing, you want to try to do a little submission switching. This is one of the, for me, my favorite part of the new submission game
is the combos.
Yeah, so you can transition during a submission.
Nice.
We call it switching just because we don't want people to get confused with the game. But yes, you can transition. So you can do, depending on who you are, what skill set you have, you can have someone in one transition, and if there is a natural, in one submission, and if there is a natural transition, like from an armbar to a triangle or back and forth, you can do that. And the cool thing, the video game part about it that is cool, is when you do it to the guy, you know how to get out of submissions, the guy's gonna be spinning like this, right? And everybody has a direction they're good at. They don't do the other direction, right? Once the guy switches subs on you, you've got to go backwards to get out of it. So he gets to keep going the same way, and you've got to go backwards. And what for most people, you spin backwards a lot slower, right?
Right.
So that's kind of the big advantage of doing
cool.
the change.
Man, how realistic is it though in real life too? Like, some guys would be defending a submission easier in one area.
Right.
It leaves them open for another one. They're not as clean.
Right, exactly.
Wow.
You get the advantage when you make the change.
Yeah, GSP's got a few things in his arsenal, doesn't he?
Yeah, but that's what he did to Matt Hughes.
That's what he did to me.
Right,
It's the exact same thing.
Yeah. And one nice thing while we're loading this up, I can just say, GSP has some cool things you associate with him. One of the cool things about career mode this year is as you're going through, if there are specific moves of people you like, you can go train with them to learn them. Mm-hmm. So you know how last year you'd start out, you pick a striking style and a grappling style. Right. This year,
or gym-oriented type stuff.
Right, yeah. So this year you can pick, you pick a general prototype you want to start with, but you can custom tune everything in there. So for example, when your guy's learning, you get an invite to a camp, you can go off to like the Jackson camp and learn GSP's left high kick, if that's what you want to learn. Or you can go train, in specific camps, learn specific moves from specific guys that you want to add to your fighter. So you can kind of create exactly the guy you want.
Well, you guys are loading this up. I guess it's important to say. So in 2 days, April 29th, so Thursday, this is the demo for UFC 2010. It'll be hitting Xbox Live and the PlayStation Network, so fans are definitely going to want to check that out. But only the fans that are registered members of UFCundisputed.com. So you got to be a registered member of the website if you want to play this game on the 29th. Otherwise, you have to wait a week, and then you get to play with everybody else. But yeah, definitely
costs nothing but a few moments. You go in, log in, you get the demo earlier than everybody else. So
gotta appreciate the bounce.
Spend a lot of time on bounce. So takedowns work the same way as last year. You hold the left trigger and move the stick towards your opponent. Transitions work basically the same way. Rotations on the right stick to get to better positions. Submission starts with a button click, and see how he started with the corner, rolls out. Now I gotta go the other way. I wasn't supposed to say that, was I? I gotta. We can edit that out later. Right?
Fix it post.
We can take that out of the West Coast feed, huh?
I'll tell you something that's kind of vicious here, guys. All right. People make the mistake, and that's like, George St. Pierre did it in the fight, and it's funny that he was like, I'm going to go to my jiu-jitsu coach and figure out what I did wrong. Technically, I think he did everything right when he did the armbar, right, on Dan Hardy. The only problem was that he straightened out the arm and was looking for the tap.
Right.
That's why I don't train for that. When I train in the gym and I grab a submission, I go and I'll take it straight. Like, for example, if I were to armbar you, I straighten your arm, and then I slowly keep applying pressure. If you don't tap, it's going to break, even in our gym.
I think we're all familiar with that, Frank.
Yeah, well, you have to train for that. That mentality of just moving through the motion
without
going through.
So
same thing with the foot, and not expecting pain tolerance. So guys sometimes do with the foot lock. They'll grab a guy in a foot lock, put in a foot lock, right? Well, the only problem with the foot lock is both your hands are probably on my leg and both my hands are free. So if you're not, I'm on top, I'm punching you. So if you're just holding on to me going for pain compliance, like, ouch, it hurts. Well, most likely you're doing it on a guy who's a professional fighter, right? Our pain compliance is probably different than most of the guys you train with at the gym. So that's why I train just to go ahead and go through and lock. If you tap before the joint is injured, hey, great, I'm glad. If not, though, I injure the joint. The way I look at it is, if I footlock you and I damage your ankle, even if you don't tap, well, then all of a sudden I move on to the next move. Well, how well are you going to continue on fighting? You're going to move if your ankle's broken.
So what are we taking a look at? A little posturing?
So we want to show, another new thing on the ground we didn't get to before, the whole idea of how posturing up works this year. So it's kind of, I guess we've been calling them sub-positions. It's a way where, it's better to explain as we're doing it.
What Colin was going to go into with the posturing system is that from any up position on the ground, you can finish someone this year. Last year we kind of had like the full postured position where you can finish people. Now you can finish from half guard, you can finish from mount, you can finish from the full postured position. There's a lot of positions now where you can finish the fight.
Oh my God, I've already been mounted. Boy, I suck. Okay, so you can see, if you watch here, so here, naturally, if I don't want to get hit by Rashad, I'm trying to hold him down. I hold him by the back of the neck, keep him down. Now he's kind of broken out of that, and he can start wailing on me. As he lands more, he'll get to posture up more and really get to be able to drop big bombs on me.
I gotcha.
So the idea there, again, is trying to make it a little more organic. Instead of having, okay, you have position A, position B, it's all kind of within this position and within other ground positions too, where now he's starting to really land stuff and he's getting more and more postured up. So again, it's, oh, and I just got elbowed. So I'm going to try to, I got to cover up. Get me out of here.
Oh, I'll let you up.
And so how are you doing that, Wes? How are you actually changing from being right against his chest to being up a little bit? How are you doing that?
From the default position is down. Another thing to point out, if you can get back to half guard here, Colin, is that in the down position, when you're in the down position here, you're better at defending against the opponent's transitions, but you're less effective at your striking. So if I want to control the guy, I can stay down in this position and I have better control of him and it's harder for him to get out. But if I posture up, now I can be more effective at my striking, but now I leave myself open to transitions.
That's cool.
A little bit.
That's cool.
I rolled with Joe a couple times down at Eddie Bravo's gym, and yeah.
Right on. Well, if you guys are set on the posturing up that you're showing us, and obviously
you can finish from any position.
There you go. And obviously we're looking at Rashad Evans and Rampage, who are two of the four guys. That's my favorite demo.
I love the celebration. Yeah, it's great.
Well, awesome. There's a demo of UFC 2010. Thank you guys for showing that off.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So these are the other two guys in the demo. Sorry, as I said, I'm too busy getting beaten up over here. But so I think we got Shogun Machida, we got Rampage and Rashad. Those are the four guys in the demo. You can set up your own little 4-person light heavyweight championship tournament, and
that's not a bad roster
have
for
a blast.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
Speaking of rosters, we're going to take a break for a moment, but when we come back, we're going to be looking at the entire roster of UFC 2010. I think about 40 or so have been revealed of the 110-ish, I think.
Yeah.
So when we come back, we'll be looking at all those guys, including people that I'm surprised to see made it in the game this year. PlayStation 3 exclusive, Hoist Gracie finally.
Hey.
So there's that. That's pretty cool. But all that and more, plus tons of giveaways. You guys brought so much stuff to give away, it's not even funny. Shirts, DVDs, all kinds of crazy stuff. Octagon mouse pads. So all that and more when we come back. Just in a moment.
Well, it's a Tuesday, so it's time to get you caught up on everything hitting stores. It's This Week in New Releases.
Capcom is once again the center of attention in stores this week, as it releases Super Street Fighter 4 for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. However, unlike last week, there's plenty of competition for consumer dollars on the new release shelves. Super Street Fighter 4 sports 10 new fighters, new levels, and an overhauled online matchmaking system, but it will face stiff competition, starting with EA's 2010 FIFA World Cup South Africa. Set for release on the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, Wii, and PSP, the game arrives more than a month ahead of the international tournament's proper start and features 199 teams and 10 licensed stadiums. More action-oriented gamers might be interested in Dead to Rights Retribution, the first new installment in the Namco Bandai Canine-assisted cop series since 2005. Retribution has players reprising the role of Jack Slate in a noirish romp through the mean streets of Grant City. Those are far from the only new options for gamers this week. On Sunday, Nintendo launches its newest hardware bundle, a white DSi system with Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story packed in. That will be followed by a pair of localized Japanese offerings for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, as Axis Game recounts the record of Argest War, and Square Enix hopes that the action-adventure game Nier will go far on the sales chart. For further details on the week's games, visit GameSpot's new releases page. Release dates are based on retailer listings and are subject to change.
So we've already discovered that I know very little about mixed martial arts. Now, Sean, you said something about growing up on the mean streets of Seattle earlier.
That's right, yes.
Are you sure you didn't mean Main Street, Seattle?
Main Street, you know what? I think I might have. Yeah.
So you've got this magazine over here, and you're trying to get me caught up on.
That's
what
right.
I've been
I know you're not too familiar with all the UFC fighters, but read this magazine, and you'll learn all you need to know about the entire roster of UFC fighters and which ones you might be able to take in a fight. I'll give you a hint, Kevin. It's probably not a whole lot. Those guys are tough.
All right. Well, it just so happens that for those that do know a lot about UFC, we have some big news for you. We're going to head on over and take a look at the UFC 2010 roster reveal.
All right, everybody, we are back, and it is time for our UFC 2010 roster reveal. I'm joined once again by our THQ and UFC panel. Thanks again for coming by. About 40 of the fighters have been announced so far. Is that right? About 40 of the 110-ish? Right now, we're going to throw up the guys on the screen and talk you through a lot of them. Of course, you can check out the producer's note and the sports blog to see the full list. But right now, let's take a look at who we're looking at. So Matt Hamill, Keith Jardine, of course. Keith Jardine has been kind of a mean dude in the last couple of years in your guys' business. He's been doing pretty good. You guys glad to see him back?
Techno Viking back, huh? Right. Steve's talking about him.
Please come out to that, Keith.
Yes, please come out to that.
We got Stephen Bonar, John Jones up here.
John Jones, future megastar of the UFC, without question.
Right on.
That's a no-brainer.
Now these guys, of course, are the light heavyweights we're looking at here. Brandon Vera, we've got right there against
Christoph
Sosinski.
You're going to have a hard time with that. Be sure to win with Christoph by Kimura. He has a special celebration. It's pretty cool.
Right on. You got Steve Cantwell and Luis Kane there. Lightweight seems like it's still a little while up and coming. Ryan Bader versus Jason Rose.
Ryan Bader's a monster. I'm sure he's going to be that way in the game.
Yeah, strong guy. I've got to roll him a couple times.
We got
Mirko Krokop lost a little body fat there. Looks pretty darn good.
Hoping to see the old left high kick again.
Speaking of left high kicks.
Nice
segue.
Yeah, definitely.
Kick he wants to throw, huh?
Yeah, definitely throw the kick when you're Gonzaga, without question.
Pat
He's tough, though. He's
got lots of kicks in here.
Two powerhouses here, huh? Yeah. No high kicks coming from these.
These guys are going to be like two elks in a National Geographic, locking horns in those great scenes where they go at each other.
And Mountain Dew should try to sponsor.
Dos Santos, one of my favorite up-and-comers, definitely a bruiser. Stefan Struve always comes to fight.
Dos Santos is a great hand.
Very impressed with Struve's jiu-jitsu. He's a really talented jiu-jitsu guy, pulling off subs. Yeah, he's pretty exciting.
Todd Duffy, I just want to see more and more of, whether it's in the game or in the octagon. This guy's just...
He's in Vegas as a trainer, man. That guy is so... underplayed, kind of like how that Force thing where I don't know if I have that much technique. The guy is very technical.
Todd Duffy, Kimbo Slice. When's that fight going to happen?
Yeah, that's crazy.
He would love for that fight to happen. I don't think they're going to make it happen.
Arlovsky and Verdum. Oh, nice to see Arlovsky in the game. Verdum, definitely, always a pleasure to watch fight.
I still think Arlovsky is one of the best offensive heavyweights we've ever had. As far as
very agile.
Movement, hands.
Now we're moving over to the middleweight division.
Well, Anderson Silva, can he fight in every division in the game?
No.
Just the two, right?
He can move up to heavyweight, right?
Training to go to heavyweight. Vitor, we all know Vitor. Well, what can you say about Vondelay? I mean,
always entertaining to watch.
Always
That's
entertaining.
One thing to say,
best stare down in the business, even with his new face.
Yeah, winner is.
That's awful.
Yeah, boy.
It's interesting, right? You guys have it updated again?
Didn't quite make it this year.
Yeah, we didn't get the new face.
Alan Belcher, one of the best kickboxers in the game. Fierce kicks. Patrick Cote, explosive striker, Patrick Cote, no question.
Chael. That's been announced now. Chael's going to be taking on Anderson.
Chael's going to take on
I really like that match.
His last fight was just...
I like it.
You know what?
I
wasn't, Chael Sonnen, I think I've always been impressed by his ability to wrestle. I mean, obviously, it's wrestling.
Right.
He's very technical, but it just seems like he just never, ever, he starts out dominant and just, something always happens. He doesn't finish well.
Bisping, want a good brawl, bring Bisping up in the game, no question.
Yeah.
Dan Miller, always tough, ready to go.
That's a tough guy.
Yeah.
I'm going to look at one more here in the middleweight. Nate Query, Dennis Kang.
Quarry's a warrior, without question, and Dennis Kang, tough dude. These are going to be all fun to play, and these are great matchups you're just showing right here. Yeah.
Here's the welterweight division.
Catman, very, very good fighter.
That was a good fight too, these two.
Yeah.
Hoist Gracie versus BJ Penn.
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting matchup. That was one of the ones that I picked. Both jiu-jitsu guys, those two going at it would be the jiu-jitsu guys' dream matchup. So that's one I would love.
If BJ would use his jiu-jitsu,
right.
I think BJ would. He would take him down and prove a point.
Yeah.
He would.
Make a point.
He would.
Right.
BJ would.
Now you can do it in the game on PS3.
That's super awesome. Now we've got George St. Pierre and Dan Hardy.
I'd like to play a rematch of this on the game.
This is UFC, right?
Can Dan Hardy be submitted on this game?
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't be very realistic if he comes.
He's a young kid with a lot of heart, man. He's going to be around for a long time.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's back in the title picture very, very soon.
Man, that's a personal favorite of mine. Dustin Hazlett.
Yeah.
That
Mine
guy's
too.
submissions are off the hook.
They're awesome.
The armbar against Berkman.
The last time he was
Craziest
fighting, it was
submission.
funny. I was sitting there, my wife sitting there, she was asking me questions like, babe, I'll commentate every other fight. This is a fight that I'm a pure fan. Be quiet. I'm paying attention right now.
And Koscheck has always been one of my favorite fighters because he's always ready to go.
He is.
Johnson, very capable, good striker.
Yeah.
Strong, so quick.
Paulo Thiago, tough. Wilkes. Wilkes is very good.
Got one more here. Matt Hughes and Frank Trigg.
Those guys have
they had some classic.
There's a lot of history there. A lot of history.
Yeah, the one where you picked him up and carried him across the octagon slam.
Yeah.
That was
I
just
actually
awesome.
jumped out of my seat.
I
on that
saw
one,
you.
yeah.
I saw that in the video. You could see you jumping up in the air behind it.
Blew
I've
me
heard
away.
from Dana say that on record that's the loudest he's ever heard an arena get was when he did
It was
that.
incredible.
Diaz.
This is lightweight
Diaz,
division.
he just
Big
got in
Nate
a little
Diaz
fight
fan.
the other
I'll
day.
go on record.
Yeah,
saying
but you know what though? That was all the other guy. Miller caused that problem.
Diaz was going in to protect his boys.
Yeah.
I can't fault him.
I can't fault him either. Like I've had a couple of people tell me, like, well, what would you? I'm like, guys, please don't say that. Your guy just fought a phenomenal fight, just came back and was able to beat Henderson. He's sitting there tired. He's the champion. That's his moment to
Yeah,
speak.
don't stick your head.
And now, I mean, I know guys got to walk in the cage, but come on, give the guy his moment, and then we can start talking about the next fight.
Mayhem
you know?
made a big mistake.
Frankie
Oh,
Edgar.
yeah.
Oh, Frank
Yeah.
BJ, there we
That
go.
was a big
I'll
fight,
rematch this on the game.
Oh, yeah. That's fun. I want to see a real rematch of too at some point.
BJ looking good.
Yeah.
Cole Miller. Ephraim, he's a good fighter, man. Always
Yeah.
coming to bring it. Cole, I like Cole a lot. Cole cracks me up. He's a
That
good
was a
kid.
crazy tough dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Tough dude. No question.
Not all top, right?
Speaking about tough, how about the ever-ready battery, Clay Guida?
Clay Guida
Yeah.
in the game this year.
Yeah, with his hair. Yeah.
Let that hair flow.
Yeah.
Terry Edom, always ready to
Yes,
brawl
yeah.
as most UK fighters.
Yeah, I love watching Terry Edom fight. Some of the combination he throws from his feet.
Yeah.
Reminds me of a
Unbelievable.
lightweight GSP.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, look at that, look at that.
Yeah.
Ross Pearson getting better every fight I see him, always getting better. And Joe Stevenson, one of the toughest guys we've ever had in the octagon.
Probably the best guillotine of anybody.
Dennis Seaver, probably the best back kick. The best traditional Taekwondo karate kicks I've seen thrown in the octagon are by Dennis Seaver.
Okay.
And he makes them all work. He gets better every time I see him too.
They're so quick. They're so,
So quick.
No telegraphing it, just you get hit with it.
Gray Maynard, another one that's constantly improving with every
Yeah.
fight.
His takedowns and hand combinations going together are just unreal. Like I sit there and watch him to learn how to do it myself.
Yeah.
Like, all right, what's he doing? Why is he throwing this jab here and there? And
Yeah.
just really,
This is going to be a good fight, Kenny Foy and Gray Man.
well, it's hard. Kenny, man, just you know, what's funny is Kenny doesn't sometimes get the respect I think that he
I think so,
deserves.
too.
I mean, the guy
Highly
just,
deserves
I mean, the guy just wins fight after fight. I mean, the only
Yeah.
fight that he's lost now in the last couple of years was to BJ. I mean, come on, guys, it's BJ. I mean, like,
That's okay.
That's one of those
And he's the
guys
only
that-
guy I know that looks like, are you going to like defend me in court or do my taxes? You don't really
Exactly,
realize he's
that's
a
it.
fighter
He
when you
doesn't
look at
look
him, you know?
like-
So there is a look at not the full list. Of course, there's about like 40 guys that we're not actually probably like 50 guys we're not showing right there on that. But if you look at the producer's note as well as the sports blog, you'll see the full list. But there's a lot of guys there. Obviously, Frank Mir, Dan Severn, some guys that we didn't show in there, but you get the idea. I think we showed. What do you guys think? I mean, you guys made the game. We showed a pretty good cross section of some of the new talent in the game this year.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm blown away.
Right on. All right, we got all kinds of swag to give away next. Join us in just a moment for the trivia section, and I think one or two of you gentlemen are going to ask a question, and I think maybe we're going to try to sneak an exhibition match in between
Yes.
Frank and Bruce.
I've always wanted to go toe-to-toe with Frank. Let's get this
There we
done.
go.
been in the cage a few times together.
Yeah, definitely.
All that and more in just a moment. Stay tuned.
So earlier we showed you guys what's happening in the world of new releases this week, but now we're going to show Nintendo owners a little extra special love. It's this week on the Wii Shop channel.
And now it's time for This Week on Wii Shop Channel, your weekly update of what's new on downloads for the Wii and DSi. New on DSi this week is Dodo Go, an adventure set in the time of the dinosaurs. Save as many dodo eggs as possible by leading them to safety. These fascinating little eggs love to roll, jump, and laugh together, blissfully ignorant of the dangers around them. Build dynamic structures and modify the terrain with a simple touch of the stylus. Shape, brush, saw, dig, and even use explosives. Dodo Go, featuring over 100 missions, is available for 800 DSi points. System Flaw Recruit is an innovative augmented reality 3D action shooter utilizing the DSi's outer camera. You're a new special agent equipped with the latest state-of-the-art weapon to fight the deadly Flaw. And they're everywhere. Unfortunately, they're undetectable by human eyes. Using your state-of-the-art weapon, you must track these enemies and shoot to kill before they get you. Are you good enough to defeat the Flaw and save mankind? System Flaw Recruit is available now for 500 DSi points. Don't Feed the Animals is a strategic defense game about children who have been hoarding their treats all summer in their backyard fort. As the local wildlife descend upon their sweet, sweet treasure, the kids use all the materials at their disposal to create 3 types of robots: melee, sound, and water bots, which have certain strengths and weaknesses against different enemies, which include bears, raccoons, rabbits, turtles, and cats. Don't Feed the Animals is available now for 500 DSi points. On WiiWare this week, 5 Arcade Gems, a collection of 5 wacky arcade games that will suit just about anybody's taste. Compete with other knights in Templar bashing. Don't let hazards get in the way in Pizza Jungle Delivery. Outsmart your competitors in RC Buggy Madness. Demonstrate your skills and reflexes in Lumberjack Trials. And of course, no adventure is complete without some deep space alien bursting action in Whirling Rangers. 5 Arcade Gems is 700 Wii points and can be played by up to 4 players. And finally, on Virtual Console this week, we have the ever so popular fighting game, The King of Fighters 95, originally released on the Neo Geo. As with previous games in the series, you'll find 3-on-3 team battles, a power gauge that lets you store up energy for a devastating attack, and the one-shot reversal super special moves unique to the series. The King of Fighters 95 is rated T for teen and is available for 900 Wii points. That's all the time we have this week. For a full list of items, please check out GameSpot.com and Nintendo.com for what's new this week on the Wii Shop channel.
So Wii owners obviously have a lot to look forward to, but it just so happens Xbox 360 owners get a little extra special love this week. Sean, Halo Reach, beta's coming.
Yes, you can see by the smile on my face that I'm very excited for the Halo Reach beta, and frankly, I'm a little bit jealous of Giancarlo, who got to go up to Bungie last week to check the game out, and he actually interviewed the guys up there, so I'll just have to live through him vicariously by watching this Halo Reach interview. Let's take a look.
Hey everyone, Giancarlo Veronini here. I'm at Bungie headquarters in Kirkland, Washington. I'm joined by Chris Carney, multiplayer design lead on Halo Reach, which we actually got to check out today. And Chris, can you tell us a little bit about what we're going to be seeing in the beta, starting with some of the gameplay modes?
Yeah, we're going to be seeing our classic Slayer 4-on-4. That's going to be in the beta, but then we have some new stuff too. So one of the big new things is Invasion. Invasion is a 6-on-6 game type, kind of like Big Team Battle from Halo 3, but it features Spartans versus Elites, a 3-tiered sort of combat system where each tier is like a unique gameplay experience, and then also some other fun stuff.
And can you talk a little bit about sort of the tweaks and things like that have been made to the gameplay and some of the new weapons that we'll be seeing in the beta?
Yeah, sure. So playing as an Elite will be a totally different experience than playing as a Spartan. Elites are bigger, they run faster, they have not instant recharge, but there's health recharges where Spartans need to go find health packs. Weapons-wise, you're going to use the Human Grenade Launcher, the Covenant Grenade Launcher, the Focus Rifle, which is the Covenant Sniper Rifle, and then there's the DMR, which is the new sort of BR from Halo 3.
And all of these, you'll be able to select from these different loadouts that have these armor perks in them. Can you talk a little bit about sort of the balance that we'll be seeing with those?
Yeah, so each loadout, loadouts are different per game. So in Slayer, for instance, there's 5 balanced loadouts where you all essentially have the same starting weapon, but the armor ability is the unique piece. But Invasion, again, that 3-tiered system, each round of Invasion has a specific set of loadouts with it. And you're right, each loadout and each primary starting weapon and secondary starting weapon are kind of a package. So each loadout we tried to balance those against each other, but each one should be a unique gameplay experience.
And one of the other gameplay modes we saw, I think, was the generator defense. What was interesting about that mode for me was the fact that so much of it is focused on actually shutting down or locking down the generators. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, generator defense is 3 Spartans versus 3 Elites, and the Spartans are trying to defend these 3 generators. But the thing that the Spartans can do is they can run up to the generator and lock it down for 30 seconds. So they have to maintain that. The thing will pop open after 30 seconds, and then the Elites can do damage to it and destroy it. And there's 3, so you have to decide where am I going to spend my time. Are we going to focus on A and lock that down and try to guard B and C? But yeah, it's kind of a unique gameplay dynamic.
And we know that the beta is coming out May 3rd, but can you give us a general release date for when we're actually going to finally get to play the final version of Halo Reach?
All we know at this time is it's going to be in the fall. And another thing that's important about the beta is it's still a beta for us. So we're getting a lot of data on the back end, not only about our servers and our hoppers, but also about weapons, spawns, armor abilities, how we balance those. That stuff will change based on what happens in the beta. So it's really important.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for joining us. Stay tuned for GameSpot.com for more coverage of Halo Reach.
And we are back getting ready for some trivia action at the same time. Frank and Bruce Buffer are going to be going up against each other in an exhibition match. I think we'll see some Frank Mir versus... Who are you playing as, Bruce?
I'm going to be Cain Velasquez.
Well, Cain Velasquez, so that's pretty awesome. At the same time, it is your opportunity now to try to win all kinds of fun stuff. And when I mean all kinds of fun stuff, I mean literally all kinds of fun stuff. All kinds of shirts. These are only samples here. I've got a box over this way that is just full. We've got all kinds of DVDs, just tons of stuff. Vouchers for the game 2010 when it comes out. UFC magazine. You guys brought all kinds of stuff with you.
Oh, yeah.
So you guys went all out for us. Thank you very much. Mouse pads. So there's basically a bunch of prize packs you can win, and you can do that one of two ways. I've got 2 trivia questions, so if you know the answer to either of these questions, go ahead and send your email to onthespot@gamespot.com or use the trivia module on the side of the page and send your answer in that way. Question number 1.
England, 17.1 stars.
In UFC Undisputed 2009, which 3 fighters had the highest overall rating? Do you guys know? Don't say if you do, but do you guys know? Obviously, you should know.
Yeah.
You should know too.
Because I read the question.
What you guys know?
Highest overall rating what?
In the game, who was like literally like the best maxed out stats wise guy?
I'd
there
have
was?
to guess with Anderson Silva. I'd have
Yeah.
to guess with George St. Pierre.
I think those are 2.
And
safe
I'd have to
guesses.
guess with BJ Penn.
Wow. Well, that's so. It's
I'm
pretty,
taking
pretty good
champions.
guesses. Yeah, yeah.
I'm just picking the guys that are, at that point.
But you don't get to
No
win though.
offense.
You've already got like
Yeah,
UFC
you're
T-shirts. So, you're not in on that.
Because you're talking about gameplay, where you threw it
We're
all
talking
in
about the
one.
video game.
That is
Yeah.
correct. Yes. So there's question number 1. If you know who in UFC Undisputed 2009 were the 3 highest rated fighters in the game, send those 3 names to us, and you get a chance to win one of a collection of awesome prizes here for UFC. If you know the answer to question number 2, who's the former WEC welterweight champion who is making his video game debut in UFC Undisputed 2010? So if you know the answer to either of those questions, you can send them over this way, and let's check in and look real quick.
Oh,
before
man.
we go.
Oh, that was brutal.
Is that it? Did we miss it? Oh my God!
50 seconds into the first round.
Frank Mir.
Well, I'm just helping Frank out. He hasn't fought Kane yet.
Was that one of those?
Booster.
Little
Control. I
rematch
think he's
here.
got some controller problems.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Controller.
Frank Mir, Bruce Buffer. That's how that goes down.
Whoa.
Right on. All right. So
Got
if
out
you
of
know.
block, guys.
If you know the answer to either of those questions, send them this way. Any post-fight comments?
Ouch.
Yeah, I got to keep my hands up.
You gotta keep your hands up. Right on. All right, you guys. So I think that's about all the time we have today. Any stuff for the folks that are waiting for your game?
Last up, well, it's coming on sale March 25th. Be sure to go out, buy 1, 2, 3 copies, however many you need for the whole family. Yeah, try out the new stuff, the sways. My favorite stuff, the sways and the submission switching are the 2 biggest things. But there's a whole lot of new stuff. Really, you'll see, play the demo, try it out. You realize we really did make a whole lot of changes. And the game's just a whole lot better this year. So we're looking forward to playing with everybody online.
Excellent. Frank, any final thoughts from you? I see you're deep in battle, but... How about you, Bruce? Anything coming from your way?
Basically, let me knock Frank out.
All right, do it.
Oh! Get your hands up.
Yeah.
Get your hands up.
As he says it.
Hands up, hands up. Do guard out, guard. There you go. You might get out. You might get out.
Oh,
there.
You
Get
got
it.
it.
Rematch.
1-1.
All right, rubber match. We're gonna see if we stick around long enough for it. What about you,
I'm
Wes?
sorry, as far as what now?
Anything going on with you? Anything you got going on? You want to tell the folks at home about?
Yeah, basically my radio show on SureDog.com or my site, bufferzone.net, the It's Time radio show, which is like a little bit of UFC, a lot of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It's a lifestyle show, so we're doing that. And I want to announce that I'm going to have my own poker room at the Luxor Hotel. The Bruce Buffer High Stakes Poker Room.
That's super
So
cool.
that's going to be launching soon, too.
You can get me in, hook me up.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, no, it's all good, but if you come see me, got to bring some cash.
All right, cool.
Oh,
Excellent. What about you, Wes? You got the game coming?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. This year we put a lot of stuff in, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears put into this game to make last year's game, take last year's game and improve upon it. I think we did that. Also want to just thank all the people from the community, let them know that we do read the forums. All of us designers, we're on the forums regularly, so we hear your suggestions, and we're trying to make the best game possible.
Fantastic. Well, there you have it. That's going to do it for us today on this Tuesday show of Today on the Spot. Of course, join us again on Thursday, but with more on that, Bruce Buffer, please.
Hi, I'm Bruce Buffer, your voice of the Octagon. Thanks for watching today, but make sure you tune in on Thursday for Today on the Spot.
when they're kind of lined up, they've already been announced and almost ready to start.
Oh, you haven't
this
seen
little
it?
nipple tweak.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
They kind of go.
I think I've ever done
They'll be looking at the other guy going, yeah, bring it on, baby.
It's like doing a prayer. Whatever, you know, I
Right.
get it, you know what I mean? The nipple twisting thing, I'm just like, damn, dude, you like turn away from the
Association
camera. I
or
don't wanna
something
see
going
that.
on.